explorers, and welcome to another one of Mark's Whiskey Ramblings. And today we are going to be doing our first ever Amrut Rambling. That's right, the distillery in Bangalore, India. It was founded in 1948, which is the year in which India got independent from Britain. But Bangalore is also known as the Silicon Valley of India, the hub of information technology. But we of course will be talking about the whiskey, Amrut. Amrut started distilling IML, Indian made liquor, for the local market under the stewardship of their first CEO. But in 1976, the new and still current CEO, with the name of Shri Nilakanta Rao, I'm not going to repeat that, you can read it here, he decided to create a single malt of international repute. And today Amrut boasts a distillery, 2 bottling units, and has won many awards the world over. Now the name Amrut is quite exotic, and it comes from Indian mythology. While the gods and the demons were fighting, the oceans started to boil, and out of the ocean came a cauldron that contained the elixir of life. Now that cauldron was named Amrut, hence the name of the whiskey. Elixir of life, Amrut Whisky, aptly named, eh? Anyway, most of their whiskey is produced with locally grown barley at the foot of the Himalayas and then matured in the tropical Bangalore climate, which of course speeds up the maturation process. The range of Amrut consists of the single malt, the fusion, peated, cask strength, a few combinations thereof, but also a couple of special bottlings such as the 2 continents, the double matured, or the double cask I should say. There's also the intermediate sherry, and finally there's this one, the Kadhambam. Now let us try this Kadhambam. That sounds great, doesn't it? Kadhambam. It's a bit like an onomatopoeia, but in fact it is a Tamil word, and Tamil is a language that is used in southern India. It's an old Indian language, and Tamil language translates Amrut into combination or mixture. Now the back label of this Kadhambam single malt says that you will get flavors from rhum, sherry and brandywine, because their single malt was actually finished on those types of casks. Hence Kadhambam mixtures, several types of casks. That's what this Amrut is all about. It is bottled at a strength of 50% ABV, and it has this beautiful, beautiful dark bronze to copper color. It clings beautifully to the glass, which will again, well, it is a bit of a promise of a full-bodied single malt from India. It's a young animal, no doubt, because in India they cannot allow their whiskey to mature for 12, 15, 18 years. There would be nothing left in the cask, so it's probably quite young. But because of the faster maturation in the Bangalore climate, a young whiskey from Amrut can easily hold its own next to a 12 or 15-year-old single malt from Scotland. Let's give this one a try. 50% ABV on the nose. Wow. It is full and round. It's got loads of spices in there. I get some cloves, nutmeg and cinnamon. Some cocoa even. Next to that I get some almond paste, some wet wood, some pine cones, toffee apples, blood oranges, green grapes. It's also slightly vegetal, so maybe perhaps there is some peated barley used in there as well. And it has this slightly sour touch as well. That must be from the brandywine. Well, this nose is quite complex and broad. It's a very rich nose. On the palate then. Well, it's a nice continuation of the nose, but not as sweet as the nose promised. It does get quite smoky now, with a tad of a drying bitterness. But no worries, there's more than enough fruit and even some chocolate to keep things on the right path, and very interesting indeed. This is a very nice palate. The finish, well, spicy, drying, a tad bitter, and it does not really, I have to say, fulfill the promise of the nose nor the palate. But no harm is done. This is it's a very interesting Amrut and a very good dram in its own right, but well, I do get the feeling that it tries too hard to be complex. You know what I mean? Maybe there's just too many casks in the mix, I don't know. Nevertheless, This is a great whiskey, and Amrut, the Indian single malt Amrut, is certainly worth seeking out. If you have not yet tried it, you should give it a go. And this Amrut Kadhambam, next to the Amrut Fusion, are two of my favourite Indian single malts. Well, that's it for this Whisky Rambling, and I hope to see you again at one of Mark's Whisky Ramblings real soon. Until then, may the Amrut be with you. Bye bye.